Okay, so hopefully I'm online now. This is my third attempt this morning. Um, and I'm sorry about the technical problems here. It's not my fault. I have to say something was going on there with the online connection. So hopefully you will find me again here. Finally, yes. So let's just hope that it stays like this. It looks like the connection is stable now. Okay, okay. So, okay, you are all here now. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, so you know what? I'll just get straight to the topic here. Um, And yeah, hello everyone. It's wonderful to see you here, and thank you for your patience. Um, Now, I have a note here. Okay, there is. I'll tell you a bit of a story. It's a story. It's story time. There is a guy. He's a Dutchman actually. He's called. His name is Anko van der Werf. I am sorry if I mispronounced that, but Anko, we'll just call him Anko. He's the CEO of Scandinavian Airlines. Now, I believe he's an agent for the Great Reset. Oh wow, what are you getting into now? Have you become a conspiracy theorist? Now, what's this about? Now, let me give you a little bit of background information here. Little Anko, he makes 12.5 million Norwegian kroner. I think that would be about $14 million US dollar per year, and he has an added pension. I don't know why he's getting a pension while he's working, but I believe there's an added pension there of 5 million. So he's he gets about 20 million US dollars, but in Norwegian kroner per year. That's his that that's what they pay him to be the CEO of Scandinavian Airlines. And little Anko, he's not pleased now because the pilots in SAS, Scandinavian Airlines, they are on strike and they are saying that, listen, you fired us during the pandemic and you promised that we would get our jobs back. Um, and now Anko is saying that, well, you can get your jobs back, but we will tweak things a little bit. We're not interested in you coming here with your demands of a decent pay. We're not interested in you coming here um, talking about the Scandinavian model. Now, the Scandinavian model is what that means is that in Scandinavia, we have a very high level of trust in business and in our society, which has been pointed at as one or maybe the major reason why we are doing well here. There is a high level of fairness in uh, and there is a lot of trust. So we we want to keep that. But Anko, he doesn't like that so much. So he says that you need to show some moderation, you peasants. And he making like almost 20 million US dollars per year. He's telling people that We can't. You need to make some sacrifices. You need to make some sacrifices. You pilots, with all your demands of a stable uh, professional life and all that. No, we can't have that. No. So it is interesting because SAS, they actually managed to get most people, including me, to believe that it was the pilots that they are greedy. That's what I thought. And then people started looking into this a little bit more and they saw that, hold on a second, what's going on here? And and it's quite obvious what's going on. Anko, he's been hired to restructure Scandinavian Airlines. Now, Scandinavian Airlines is a massive, big, huge corporation. Okay, lots of people work there, and Anko's mission is to restructure SAS in line with the Great Reset. That's what I think. Now, they're not sitting in a room. Well, actually, they are sitting in a room making plans, but it's not like they are sitting there and doing like this and saying, "Well, we will make life difficult and miserable to these people." No, that's not what it's about. But they are not interested in the Scandinavian model. They are not interested in fairness. What they are interested in is changing society, and that's what they're saying. Now, they are showing you the good bits, right? So they're saying that, for instance, we will protect the wilderness, which is, I mean, how can you be against that? You know, and that's actually part of the Great Reset, or what they are saying, at least. Um, so it sounds awesome, right? Until you discover that, well, to do that, they will just take private property from people, as they are doing now in the Netherlands. But yeah, Kristin is contributing with some information here. I can add to that Anko managed to little Anko, he managed to actually become the most hated person in Norway in a matter of days. He is, we hate him with a passion, okay? Because he is, the words that he's using. Now, he was calling the workers or the pilots, the union there, um, he said, well, they are schizophrenic. That's what he said, you know, and it's kind of funny in a way. It's tragic and funny. So they want to change the entire airline industry. It will no longer, and this is part of the Great Reset, and this is what they all are also saying, it will no longer be part of uh, something for it. It won't be for everyone anymore. That's their plan, you know. So what they need to do is to eradicate the business class, and they need to make flying much more expensive for everyone, so that the common man, the common peasant, we don't want the common peasant to be on airplanes. No, we don't want that. Um, and and it's quite obvious that that's what's going on. And you may ask, well, how are they going to make money then? You know what? They're not making money now, and they haven't for a long time. So that's what I think. That's what I think is going on. And we will see more of this in the future. And there are probably similar going on in other large corporations as well. It's just that little uncles arrogant and disgusting behavior has made him so visible. Uh, and many commentators in Norway has pointed at the fact that it seems like he doesn't really understand Norwegian people. He comes across as a real bastard. And as I said, he has become hated, the most hated man in Norway. And in a matter of days, it's actually quite an achievement. So, I mean, the demands, if you want to know what they are demanding from the pilots, is that they will no longer have any what's the word, ansiennitet in Norwegian. You know, when you start working as a pilot, you have a wages and you start, it's not very high. People think they earn a lot of money. They do after a few years. But he's saying that, well, we will hire you as we promised to do, but you'll have to start all over again. So if you have been working for 20 years as a pilot, you will have to start with the same wages as people um, who are just starting as a pilot, you know. Um, and it's, I mean, if I was a pilot, I would be furious, and I think they are as well. So I think that people like Little Anko, he is part of a group of, you could call it an exclusive group of people who know each other quite well, and they meet on a regular basis or irregular basis, but quite often. Um, and they are very well aware that they will be part of the what they believe to be will be the ruling class in the future, and they don't want the peasants to, you know, us common people. They want us. They don't want us to 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 meddle with their plans or anything, you know. So that's what I think is going on, and you know, how it's like, how can someone who makes almost 20 million US dollars point at the people who work in the company and say that, oh, you need to show some moderation, you can't come here with your demands. No. uh, I mean, it's arrogance at a completely another level, you know. um so let's take a look here at the chat. So yeah, I'm saying Little Uncle because I think he's a little bastard. Um, and you know, I don't get me wrong. I think that it's good to make money. I'm not envious of anyone who got rich by their the sweat of their brow or their talent or their um, you know, effort and so on. I think actually I find that very inspiring. Um, and you know, I'm making good money myself. I have practically two jobs: YouTube, and also my main occupation is that I'm a novelist, and I have been for quite a few years. Um, so don't get me wrong here, but people like Uncle and people like that, that's not how they make money. Actually, and I have to add this: people like that. Well, let's look at this case in particular. Now, Scandinavian Airlines has been at the verge of bankruptcy quite a few times actually, and they've been saved by either the Norwegian government or the Norwegian and Swedish government, and they've gone in there and helped them with money. Now, when a government hands out money to save a company, who's paying for that? We are paying for that. We are paying for people like Anko. That's why I don't like Anko. I think he's an arrogant little prick. So, okay. Okay, I'll take a look at the super chats now. James, thanks a lot for the donation, and God bless. That's what you're writing here, and thank you a lot for that. That's very kind of you. Let's see here. I'll scroll up quickly. North Shore, good to see you as always. And just Skål, says Matthew. Well, thanks a lot for that, and Skål to you as well. Mark has been a member for 10 months. That's awesome. And thank you for that. Bob has been a member for 9 months. Yeah, you finally found the channel. Yeah, I was having a bit of a problem with the connection here. So let's see. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, a lot of Christian says there will be no air travel for the peasants, that being us, which is the peasants, which is all of us. Yeah, they don't want the middle class today. Yeah, and you are discussing several topics here, and Bob is saying that you did not realize that the Scandinavian Airlines was in such a dire situation, Bjorn. Well, yes, they are, and it is mismanagement that has led them into this situation. Now, let's see here. James, welcome as a member to the channel. I will be doing more members-only live streams, as I do most live streams for members only on this channel and my main channel. What seems to be happening with Scandinavian Airlines is the same, or somewhat the same, as what happened in the shipping industry. So in the shipping industry, they, a couple of generations ago, it was not uncommon for young men to go on a ship, and sail the seas for a few years, especially for people who came from poor families and so on. But then the shipping companies, they said that no, we won't hire those people anymore because they have demands. So we will just hire people from other countries and they are much cheaper, So, okay, we have a little bit of religious discussion here. Alan says Odin is a LARP. I know what LARP is. What? No. Audi. I'm sorry, I don't follow that one. I need people to stay civilized here in the chat, and I am aware that I've used a couple of rude words about Anko. I'm sorry about that. No, I'm not. But so it doesn't mean that you will use that you should use all kinds of rude uh, words here, because it kind of makes it a bit difficult for me. You like my chair? Well, Dominic, it's just a common chair. It's kind of broken actually, so I have it here in the corner of my writing office. Yeah, well, a lot of things are going on now, and it seems like it's a little bit all over the place at the moment. Um, Lots of things are going on at the same time, and depending on which country you are in, um, obviously we care more about the things that happen in our own country, and that's why I talked about the Scandinavian airlines and all that now. Um, so let's see here. Berserker Gang 2019, are you here? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Um, let's see here. That's interesting. DPFX 99999. It would be amazing to see Russia turn around on a dime and become allies with Norway. I don't think that's going to happen. Actually, and you probably didn't know, but they made another provocation. Now they want the the sea up in the north. Um, we have had a good relationship with Russia up in Svalbard and the ocean there, between pretty much between Svalbard and the northern tip of Norway and Russia there. So we had an agreement. There's a it is the sea, but still there's a border at sea, um, and Russia is now saying that we will not respect that anymore, which kind of just strengthens their, or how should I put it? It's it's been a long. It's like they are continuing to provoke. They are continuing to disrespect our Norwegian sovereignty, and it is sad because it we were on a good track. We were moving in the right direction, but not so anymore. And by the way, this was uh, this whole thing with Russia and the worsening of our relationship with Russia and the provocations from Russia. It started long before Sweden and Finland started talking about joining NATO. So there are people out there who think that, well, they're just doing that because you are not doing you Swedish and Finns, you're not letting Russia rule your country, so it's your fault, isn't it? No, no, this happened long before that. It's been happening. It's been going on for quite a few years. A worsening of the relationship there. Again, it's very sad. It is very sad because the Russians are not our enemies. The Russian people, and I mean, it's politics. But I don't want to get into that because I'm getting so many trolls and so many people who have been brainwashed by the propaganda in they say, oh, I don't listen to mainstream media. Yeah. And then, you don't realize that Russia is, I mean, they are all over the place. And just because there's something that you're watching on a video on some alternative platform or something, please realize that it is propaganda, you know? You have to realize that, you know? There are people working on that. It's like talking to a wall sometimes. No. Yeah, I like Russia too, Dominic. I've been to Russia. I like Russian people. They are being held hostage as well, Thank you for that, Deborah. Thanks a lot for the donation as well. Um, and Mayan Ferdinand Robertson, thanks a lot for the donation. Awesome. Wonderful. I'll just scroll down. Yeah. I'll just say one more thing. Someone's mentioning Alaska here. It's you know, yeah, you wouldn't like it. And if Russia said, well, no, rather Putin said, well, we will have Alaska back now. Thank you very much. You wouldn't like that. I think maybe you would not be as, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say here. And it's like this. If you're not Norwegian, you're probably not an expert on Norwegian politics and the Norwegian-Russian borderline in the ocean up north and so on. So, okay, being a little bit humble about countries overseas, it's often quite wise. So, just an idea there. Okay, that should have woken up the trolls. Okay. Yeah, TKE, I'm absolutely, I agree absolutely. Um, and some people are saying that if you support the strengthening of the, I won't mention it because it wakens up the trolls, but it doesn't mean I think that NATO is is a savior of the world or a keeper of the world peace or anything like that. No, not at all. But you have to choose, in a situation like this, staying neutral as a very small country up north, um, smack in the middle there on the resources that Russia wants. Oh, we'll just stay neutral. We'll stay neutral. Yeah. Wait and see how that will work for you. You know. Um, Mark Marvin, yes, exactly. And thank you for the donation. Yeah, I understand, I understand. So, yeah, lots of things going on. A little bit of information on what I would call housekeeping here on YouTube on my behalf. Um, yeah, and I would just want to, I'm going to get into that, but first, DPFX and the nines there. You say neutrality doesn't last long when you're sitting on the fence and everybody can come along and pick you off. Exactly. Sweden was neutral during Second World War. What did that mean? Were they really neutral? Well, some would say Sweden has a shameful history when it comes to the Second World War. I wouldn't call it that, but it did they did enable the occupying force to move through Sweden into Norway and so on. At the same time, you had refugees coming from Norway going to Sweden when things got a little bit too heated up here for them. One of my relatives who fought the occupying force, the Nazis, and he was killed during the war here in Norway, sadly. He had been there and he in Sweden, and he came back and was then shot by the yeah. So it is I was just going to say that neutrality. I don't believe in that. It's You need to have a very special and unique geographical um, position for that to work. And either Norway, Sweden, or Finland has that. Okay. Now, a little bit of information about the housekeeping. I have 3 channels here on YouTube. I have this one where I do most of my live streams. I have Bjorn Outdoors, which is only outdoors stuff, and then I have my main channel. It's and I've linked to all those channels in the video description. I struggle a little bit right now with the direction on the main channel. I will find a direction, but it is a little bit difficult right now, actually. But I will find an answer. And some people are asking for more Viking stuff on the main channel, and there will be more Viking stuff on the main channel. I was planning to go to some Viking festivals and make videos from those. But it's been a while now since I was at the Viking festival. But from what I can see, Viking festivals now, someone mentioned the word LARP. I think that stands for live action role playing. Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed with how these Viking festivals have progressed. It has become much more a holiday camping commercial thing and you will find people from Eastern Europe selling fur from animals that have been in cages their whole lives. You will have things like I've seen a tattoo parlor there, modern food, and a lot of other stuff that doesn't belong at the Viking festival at all, if you ask me. There's a lot of people getting drunk in the evenings. There's a lot of noise. And for me, I'm not interested in that. So I'm sure not all the Viking festivals are like that, but I've become a little bit disappointed. And also I see that being politically correct seems now to be more important to many people in that community than being historically correct. And I have a problem with that. EFO, well, thanks for the donation. No, I wasn't planning to come to California, but you're talking to everyone here, I guess. Yeah, the diesel is getting expensive. Um, let's see. And let's see here. Yeah, well, I'm hold on. We're trying to keep the chat clean here. That's quite important. Please remember that there are kids watching as well. Might be your son or your daughter, so please try to remember that. Remember that. And Rif, thanks for the donation. He's saying that I see a huge difference between the real heathen festivals and the Viking cosplay drunken fests. Yes, absolutely. I don't know which ones are what here in Norway actually. Um, let's see here. More knife videos. I'm not planning to do knife videos in the future. It takes a lot of time to film those actually, and not many people are interested in seeing knife videos. Uh, you might find it on Bjorn Outdoors in the future. Uh, and it might be part of videos on the main channel. So back to the housekeeping thing, and bow videos. I'm going to do a bow making video, I promise. But that takes a lot of time, you know. So what I do is I make the bow over a period of a couple of weeks. I film it, I upload the video, and I don't look at the comments because when I make bow making videos. I don't know what it is, but there are so many trolls. I don't know why, and it's like it's so annoying. But I'll do my best. I made quite a few bows, and I like making bows. Um, well, thank you for saying that, DPFX and the nines. And if you're interested in bow videos and you haven't seen my bow videos, then you can find them on my main channel. Um, yeah, life advice videos. Yeah, they've been doing reasonably well. Brandon, absolutely, and I'll get back to that as well. I am a little bit, yeah, you see, I'm a little bit busy right now because I have a deadline with my new novel. Uh, so for the next 1.5 month, I will not be able to make videos that takes a lot of time to produce. Yeah, there are lots of trolls and haters commenting on bow making videos. I don't know why. It is strange. Yeah, there are two swords behind me actually. Um, and Mark, the same. You know, I want to see you teaching how to shoot one. Um, yeah, I could do that, but you see, my technique is kind of unique, and it's because my neck is quite stiff, and that's because I broke my neck many years ago. So I've had to figure out a way to shoot the bow, which is not what people would consider correct. But I don't want to make a point out of my neck being uh, having an injury and all that, and so it's and people would say, "Oh, not that's not how you do it," you know. So yeah. Um, Again, I won't have time to do that for the next 1.5 month. Um, so let's see here. Yeah, Kristin says that there are trolls everywhere. Haters gonna hate, forget them. Yes, and to be honest with you, I don't even see those comments. But the problem is that it seems to have the effect that people avoid being engaged in the comments section of the video. When there are lots of trolls and haters, people see that and they think, no, I won't comment because this is just not pleasant. And that's the actual problems with haters and trolls. It's not me getting my little feelings hurt. I don't care. And as I said, I only see a tiny fraction of those comments anyway. But people don't like that. And that actually is bad for the views on the video, because if you get more if you get a lot of comments on a video, that will tell the algorithm here that, you know, we will promote this video. And if you get less comments than usual, which will be probably the result if you have lots of haters and trolls there, then the algorithm will not promote your video. So a little bit of YouTube school there. Um, Sorry to hear that. Outdoor Watch Norway. Sorry to hear that. Leon, yes, I assume that was what happened. Something like that. No problem at all. Simon's Diamond Soul says that the videos helped you escape big cities. Well, thank you for saying that, and good luck with that. I'm sure that you will succeed. Um, Flint napping, yeah, I'd like to do that, but you know, I don't know how to. I would have to learn it first. I've made, a couple of, I wouldn't even call it knives, flint knives. Just, I've just made a few, um, little pieces that were sharp that I could, you know, but flint knapping, it's, you need to learn yourself, teach yourself all these things, all these skills, Um, let's see here. Yeah, I actually have a forge and I want to get into that. It is one of the things that I'm going to start doing when I really get into my what I call my part-time retirement, which I have started already. But I knew I said when I've turned 50, which is next month, I will start my part-time retirement, working 50% of what I used to work, which will be about 30 hours a week. And that will be wonderful. I will be able to travel more. I will be able to get into, forging, more carving. I miss carving, making bows and all those things, more hiking. I've been so incredibly busy with work since I was a child, But um, and Yeah, okay. But anyway, so that's my plan. But now I have a deadline with my book. I knew I was going to have a deadline, so that was in the plans. And I'm working full time now again for a few weeks. But then after I've finished this novel, I am going into part time retirement. I'm going to make as many videos. I'm going to be writing as usual, but I will be changing things up a little bit. And I won't stop working. I will never stop working. But I will need more time to do the things I never had time to do. Someone's writing that I should cut my hair. No. The adventure method says that I inspired you to have a crack at making your own videos. That's awesome. That's awesome. There's a discussion about nuclear energy, I think. No, I'm not going to cut my hair. No. It's like this. Here's how I think about this. Now here's the big question. Now I'm asking myself this: am I an expert on nuclear energy, like physics and things like that? Obviously not. So it would be difficult for me to make a video about that. And then most topics, I that's my attitude towards most topics. Uh, Now you don't have to be an expert to make a video about something, but you should at least have spent time looking into it. And when I do that, when I do research, most often I find that there is only a little tiny bit of this, of what I of the topic that I can actually talk about, because all the other stuff would take maybe years to get into properly. Um, no, US. I didn't see that, but you're saying you have a degree in physics. No, I wasn't referring to you. I was referring to me. It's just a general thing. I would not try to claim to know about something that I don't know much about. Um, Foraging videos. Yeah, my some of my books are on Amazon. I think they are in several languages, and I can't keep track with the editions and things like that. They're not in English yet. If you're watching this in the future, this live stream in the future, maybe they are. Uh, I will, on the front page of my website, linked in the video description, you will see a list of the languages. Um, List of the languages. Hold on. That my books are available in, and you can click on links there and order them. You can buy them in the bookstore, so on. I'm hoping that they will be available in English very soon. Um, yeah. Okay. If you can order my books, I have books. not only a book, but from Norway, I don't know. You would have to, I'm not selling the books. That's the bookstores and websites and things like that. That's their job, and I don't know. I don't know. Um, that's Single Ply Tech is writing, see the algorithms keeping you lost, and now you're caught in an echo chamber of your own thoughts. Well, get well soon, and yeah, that would be nice. If this was an echo chamber, that would be nice. I think there are channels who are creating echo chambers, um, and I sometimes envy them because it's much more quiet, right? Um, now, there are too many independent thinkers here for this to become an echo chamber, and it's the same on the main channel as well. Yeah, so I will also. I'm aware that this might be difficult for some people, but I will kindly ask people not to refer to whatever substance you are taking, please. There might be kids watching, listening, and I want to keep things civilized. I will therefore also apologize that I use two rude words um, concerning this Anko fellow. I'll try to avoid doing that in the future. I still think that he's a miserable, lousy human being. But I will try to avoid using rude words. But please keep certain words out of the chat. If you watched my live streams before, I'm quite a conservative person. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a liberal when it comes to these substances at all. Quite the opposite. And and you might disagree with that, but the most important thing here is that there might be kids watching, so please keep things civilized and avoid certain words and topics in the chat. Okay. I haven't seen the movie Northman. Um, so let's see here. Interesting question there, Malik. Thoughts on Americans calling themselves heathen? I'm very drawn to Norse paganry, but sometimes feel as if it may be disrespectful. Not at all, I would say, not at all. It's not like it needs to be limited to certain geographical areas. You know, in fact, I would say that the more people who discover um, what we call sometimes Norse heathenry or Norse paganism, the more people, the merrier. Yeah, and I know there are some people out there who are saying that, well, now it's just for us. Um, it that's kind of a difficult argument to make because who are who would that be? I yeah, I won't get too deep into that, but yeah, that's my answer. Um, yeah. So I'll end this live stream soon, but yeah, someone's mentioning skyr. That's a dairy product. Yeah, that's correct. Um, and yeah, gatekeepers are annoying. Yes, absolutely. And very often I see that those gatekeepers are themselves, well, we talked about the term LARPing here. I find that some of them are a little bit into that LARPing. That's my opinion. Uh, well, I Skeet is isn't that a is it a whey product actually? I'm not sure because it's marketed in Norway um, as a dairy product, but I don't know. Please look into that. Um, Bjorn is not Odin. No, absolutely not. uh, and Holy South 1921 says love from Bosnia. Well, uh, all the way from Bosnia. That's awesome. Let's see here. Um, Kristen says rømmegrøt. Now there's a delicious dairy product. Yeah, we have lots of those here, and dairy products in all possible variations, usually sweetened. And yeah, I'll tell you a fun fact here. Um, a lot of Norwegians they view rice pudding as typical Norwegian. Isn't that funny? I mean, rice pudding. It's rice. It's not from Norway. But yeah. Um, Sophia says, I'm a Norwegian Celtic druid, so I'm an authentic heathen. Absolutely. Um, now, right as rain. Yes, I know rømmegrøt. It's not for everyone. Um, yeah, and yogurt is global. Yeah, yeah. I don't know why, but rice pudding has become a thing that is traditionally Norwegian during Christmas or Yule, as we say here, um, which is a bit strange, but uh, that's how it is. That's how it is. Lutefisk, yeah, well, I can tell you what that is. It's now for some reason Scandinavians they have a thing, and the people in Iceland as well have a thing for rotten fish. uh, in different variations of rotten fish. Now, lutefisk is not rotten fish. I know it's been treated with bleach, and I've never had it because I think it looks and smells disgusting. And I'm sorry, there are lots. There will be fans of lutefisk here. There are people going to lutefisk parties to eat lutefisk. It's true, and they love it. It's like almost a religion to them, and I find it a little bit funny. But to me, any kind of fish that is sort of looks disgusting, I won't eat it. So Uh, yeah, and when also when it comes to lutefisk, a bleached fish, that's what it is. And when they come carrying the lutefisk, typically Christmas parties, it's like jelly. It's wobbles. Um, and I think it doesn't look like something I would like to eat, but it's that's blasphemy in Norway saying that. Yeah. Um, fish jelly. Yeah, I know, and there is also, for instance, gravet laks. That's directly translated dug down salmon. Doesn't sound like something you would eat. And I'll tell you a story. My father actually told me this when I was a child. We have a type of cheese in Norway. It's actually quite healthy, but it smells like it doesn't smell nice, and it's a stinky cheese. Um, Now this cheese, this it's called old cheese, gamalost. And my father used to tell me that how they made that in the old days was that they dug a hole just behind the outhouse, to put it that way. And back in the time when they didn't have indoor toilet, they went to the outhouse, right? So they would dig a hole, he said, behind the outhouse. And they would put the cheese there to be treated for a few weeks or months, and then they took the cheese up, and that's how you make old cheese. That's what he said. That's not true, but it certainly smells that way. So yeah, I haven't had that cheese. No. Yeah. Um, yeah. So that's my mother used to eat that old cheese sometimes, and my father too. I think it made me believe that. So I don't know why he did that. Maybe he thought that was funny. Um, yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. U.S. Says the lutefisk would damage the good silverware, but it's going to be just fine next to my teeth. I did a hard opting out on the fish after hearing that. I didn't know that, but good point there. I'm kind of a fan of fresh food. Call me crazy, but that's just me. I like fresh food. Yeah. Um yeah, and we have sweet goat's cheese in Norway, and Norwegians love that. I do that as well. I love sweet goat's cheese, and it's not something that other people like so much. I think it's fantastic. You know, it brings back the childhood. Good memories. I mean, I will. What can be better? It's like if you're out hiking and you have a sandwich with sweet goat's cheese and a little bit of butter on there. That's fantastic. It's my favorite. Yeah. Um, Hellfire Kitchen by Rob Hellfire says, I live for sweet goat's cheese. Yeah, we call it brown cheese. Yeah, says Tanya. Uh, I think people in other countries who are more accustomed to sweet that the food being having a lot of sugar all the time, they wouldn't call it sweet, the brown goat's cheese. Um, Kevin, thank you for the donation. Um, and thanks, you are saying thanks for hosting another brainstorm. Yeah, I usually start by talking about a topic that I find important and then get to the chat and we start talking about other topics, very often lighter topics. Yeah, I like goats. Even though my neighbor has goats, and now during summer there's a bit of a smell when the wind comes from that direction. But I don't mind. I like goats. Um, I I find them very charming. No, it's not like feta cheese. It's a quite a it's solid. You know, it's not soft. Yes, I have a garden. We have quite a lot of land here now, and a part of that is the garden. We grow quite a few vegetables. We're not self-sustained, but we actually now have gotten to the point where we can have fresh vegetables, some fresh vegetables, all year round. I've found some carrots that will grow actually during winter. I thought that was impossible in Norway, but it apparently they kind of just rest a little bit when it's too cold, and then they continue growing. The vegetables, the carrots we have now are from last year. They survived through winter, actually. Uh, so yeah, Dominic, well, thank you for that. That's kind of you to say. And Mobucks, thank you for the donation. That's very kind of you. Um, yeah, I know, Mike, about they are creating meat, like they are growing meat in the labs. Now, I want to say a few words about that. And please don't get me wrong here. And please follow my train of thought, line of thought, and all that. I'm not a fan. But I will say this. Um, I started looking into growing meat in labs like 18 or 19 years ago. Now, I won't get into details why, but that was a sidetrack, if you will, of some research I did. So, if we are talking about the same technology, and I think we are, it is important to understand that it is, if you do that, it's completely safe. The technology in itself, so it's completely safe. So, but there's a catcher, and I'll get to that. Okay. So, but the technology is in itself, you copy a cell of meat, right? And you grow meat. That itself, in itself, is completely safe. It's actually more safe than the system we have now with killing animals, and more ethically sound as well. Now, the problem is, I would say the problem is that we, we can't trust the people who are doing this. I mean, um, would you? We're talking about Billy Boy and his friends. I see a huge problem there. So even though the technology in itself, and I'm talking about when I did research on that, I don't think these people had started investing in this technology yet. So because those companies, there was a company in Israel. I looked into small company, and then now it's going to be a big business, and that's why I have a problem with it. You know, what's really in it, and you won't know, and you won't be allowed to see the process, and you won't be able to know what went into it. So and it's a shame. It's a shame because if they just took that technology, used that technology to copy, and grow meat, that would be safe. That in itself would be safe, and we wouldn't have to kill animals. Wonderful, wonderful. But sadly, um, the technology has been bought up by people like Bill Gates, and you know that's that's the problem. That's the problem. You don't know what it is, anymore. Um, so yeah, yeah, no Pfizer burgers for me. I, I, I agree. Yeah, well, another topic here, salmon. That's actually really Chaco than Neanderthals. It's been bad on the U.S. West Coast for years. Okay, I'll tell you a little bit about that, and then I will stop the live stream. Now, I've had wild salmon in Scotland, and the salmon we eat here is not wild. It's farmed salmon. It doesn't taste the same. Mm. And the problem here is that the big sea farms where they have this salmon is environmentally, it's polluting the fjords. It's a big problem. And also you will have lots of parasites on those salmon, and they escape and they spread the diseases, which is threatening the wild salmon here, and it's a huge problem. So yeah, but again, lots of money invested in the farming or salmon farms, and they just keep going, just keep doing that. Okay, okay, yeah, bugs. Yeah, I'm not going to eat bugs, unless I'm lost in the wilderness with a broken leg, crawling, and I've been crawling for a week, and I'm almost dying from starvation. I won't eat bugs, you know. Yeah, we are also seeing overfishing, and that is also a big problem here. Antibiotics, yeah, it's they should just stop doing that. You know what I think about all these things? I think we should preserve nature, and I don't like that what they're doing, and no. But I have to stop the live stream now because of the battery on my laptop. I don't have a cord to the laptop where I'm sitting now. So um, thank you for joining, and thank you for all the super chats. That was very kind of you. Um, and also, please If you want to help me here, help me out, go to my main channel and click please on the latest video that I uploaded. I uploaded that yesterday, or for some of you, some hours ago. If you have seen it already, hope you liked it. If you haven't, take a look. It helps a lot with the algorithm and all that. So, yeah, you will find a link to my main channel in the video description. Thanks a lot. Have a wonderful day.